a mysterious female killer commits a series of bizarre murders. The series of chilling murders has a small, quiet town on edge. Detective Min Jun, a seasoned investigator, is called in to solve the case, but the deeper he digs, the more tangled and twisted everything becomes. The final revelation will leave him and the audience stunned. It starts in a peaceful, secluded town with the brutal murder of a well-known doctor sends shockwaves through the community. The victim is a respected physician at a prestigious hospital, and the local police are completely stumped, unable to find a single solid clue. Detective Min Jun, the head of the homicide division, is called in to take charge of the investigation. Min Jun arrives at the crime scene with his team, hoping to find something that could break the case wide open. But despite their efforts, they come up empty. The crime scene offers no useful evidence and no witnesses. No fingerprints, nothing. Feeling stuck, Min Jun turns to the coroner for help. He learns that the killer is likely a left-handed person with exceptional knife skills. The precision of the wounds suggests that this is no ordinary murder. This is someone highly trained, someone with a deep understanding of how to kill efficiently. Min Jun reviews surveillance footage from the hospital and the surrounding area. But again, he finds nothing unusual, no suspicious individuals, no unusual activity. Desperate for answers, he begins to focus on the hospital itself. Maybe someone there saw something, anything that could point him in the right direction. At the hospital, Min Jun meets Nurse Xiaomei, who is the last person to see the victim alive. She claims nothing out of the ordinary happened that night, just some casual flirting between her and the doctor. But Min Jun's instincts tell him something's off. Xiaomei is nervous, her answers are vague, and her behavior feels wrong. Is she hiding something? As Min Jun begins to suspect that Nurse Xiaomei might be involved, another murder rocks the town. The vice director of the hospital is found dead in a nightclub, and the crime scene mirrors the first murder in disturbing detail. Same method, same precision. It's clear that the same person is responsible for both deaths. Forensic analysis confirms that the killer used the same technique in both murders, slashing the artery, causing the victim to bleed out. The same knife, too. Min Jun starts to piece together a chilling pattern. All the victims were connected to the hospital's neurosurgery department. What is this department hiding? Min Jun digs deeper into the hospital's past and uncovers a disturbing secret. 10 years ago, a young woman named Zhu Zhuan was admitted after a car accident. She was critically injured, unconscious, and helpless. Then, a shocking scandal erupted. While Zhu Zhuan was in a coma, she was sexually assaulted by 3 doctors, including the 2 victims killed by the assassin. The only one left alive is the hospital's plastic surgery director, Dr. Jin. Min Jun realizes that Dr. Jin is likely the next target, but something else is gnawing at him. Zhu Zhuan has vanished from public view. Who is she now? What has she become? One day, as Min Jun is walking home, he notices a newly opened butcher shop. Out of curiosity, he steps inside. Behind the counter stands a slender woman with remarkable knife skills, expertly cutting meat. Min Jun is immediately struck by her beauty, and for a moment, he forgets why he came in. She notices him watching and turns to face him, a quiet smile playing on her lips. Min Jun, still dazed by her allure, exits the shop quickly, but he can't get her out of his mind. That night, he can't stop thinking about the woman at the butcher shop. The next day, Min Jun visits Dr. Jin, hoping to get some answers about the past, but the meeting quickly turns hostile. Dr. Jin insults him and refuses to cooperate. Frustrated, Min Jun orders his team to investigate any female patients treated at the hospital 10 years ago, who were between the ages of 16 and 19. One evening, Min Jun notices an elderly woman enter the butcher shop. Speaking to the owner, Xiaohong, she comments cryptically, "The chicken is delicious." Xiaohong nods and the two exchange a brief, knowing look. Min Jun, watching from across the street, feels a chill run down his spine. Something about this moment doesn't sit right with him. Fearing Dr. Jin is in immediate danger, Min Jun sets up surveillance on him. One night, Min Jun and his team watches Dr. Jin leaves his house and heads to a nightclub. Soon, a masked waitress approaches him, and Min Jun realizes with horror that she's the killer. A tense confrontation ensues. During the struggle, she is injured, her leg is cut by a knife. The connection to the murders is undeniable, and Min Jun's suspicion grows. Meanwhile, Min Jun's team uncovers the identity of the woman from 10 years ago. Zhu Zhuan. She's completely disappeared from public life until now. Now she goes by the name Zhu Shoujin and is a famous actress. Min Jun learns that she's been surrounded by scandal and rumors, but something about her story doesn't add up. Min Jun begins to suspect that the murders are connected to her past. Could Zhu Shoujin be seeking revenge? As the pieces of the puzzle fall into place, Min-jun grows more convinced that the doctors who assaulted her all those years ago are the targets. One by one, they're dying in brutally methodical ways. Is this an act of revenge? Carefully planned and executed over the years. Min-jun arranges a meeting with Zhu Shoujin. She's cold and aloof, insisting that she has nothing to do with the murders. She claims she has no reason to seek revenge. But Min-jun can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. He notices a familiar perfume on Hironi that reminds him of the elderly woman from the butcher shop. The connection between them is too strange to ignore. Min-jun's investigation takes another unexpected turn when he discovers that Xiao Hong, the butcher's assistant, has extraordinary knife skills just like the killer. The more he investigates, the clearer the connection becomes. Xiao Hong is somehow tied to these murders. Min-jun decides to visit the butcher shop again, determined to find answers. When he confronts Xiao Hong, she remains unnervingly calm and collected. But as the conversation progresses, Min-jun notices a chilling detail. Xiao Hong has a scar on her leg, and is the same one that appeared during the murders. Min-jun doesn't believe the girl he'll love is a murderer. But just then, Xiao Hong kisses him, and the two share an intimate moment. That night, Dr. Jin is abducted from his home. Min-jun, strangely relieved, realizes that Xiao Hong had been with him the entire time. Dr. Jin is taken to a plastic shed, tied to a pillar. An elderly woman and a girl enter. The girl quickly approaches Dr. Jin and kills him. The old woman then walked onto the rooftop and took off her mask. It turned out that the old woman was Zhu Shoujin. The next morning, Min-jun visits the crime scene. The coroner confirms that the method of murder is identical to the previous to slashing the artery, causing the victim to bleed out. However, there is one difference. The previous killers were left-handed, but this time, the killer is right-handed. One morning, Min-jun is having breakfast with his colleagues when he sees news that Zhu Shoujin's movie has been a huge success. In the film, she plays an elderly woman, just like the one Min-jun had encountered in the butcher shop. The realization hits him. Xiao Hong and the elderly woman are the key suspects in the serial killings. They plotted an elaborate revenge against the doctor, who sexually assaulted her 10 years ago. As Min-jun pieces together the full story, he realizes that all these murders were meticulously planned to make the doctors pay for what they did. But as the truth comes to light, Min-jun finds himself caught in a moral dilemma. During the investigation, he developed feelings for Xiao Hong, and now his emotions clash with his duty as a detective. The line between justice and personal feelings becomes increasingly blurred. In the end, Min-jun chooses to leave. He submits his resignation and walks away from the case in the town. He can't bear the weight of the truth he's uncovered. But just as it thinks he's escaped, he returns to the butcher shop and finds Xiao Hong there. Min-jun tells her that he is no longer a detective, then smiled, and the two of them lingered together again. The next morning, Min-jun wakes up to find that Xiao Hong has left him. He opens an album, smiling as he looks through the photos. Suddenly, he is stunned by one of the pictures. Xiao Hong has a twin sister who looks exactly like her. Min-jun, stunned, mutters to himself, "Who are you? Really?" The story ends here. What do you think? Viewers, who do you think Min-jun's love interest really is?